Do I have Kleenex? Yes, I do.
Right? Oh yeah.
I'm live.
Oh my god. We
That's
haven't even started yet and we're
open the
laughing.
show. Do I have Kleenex?
Oh, you bugger. Bugger. Now I'm spitting and drooling and crying.
So if I wanted to share this out, I just share out the event, or are you going to post it something and then share it out?
Yeah, it's on my timeline. There's a link already been put up. You can just copy and paste from there, if that's easy.
Okay.
So while Kwame's doing that, if you want to tell everyone who you are, Lynn, and where they can like catch your show and stuff.
Well, I'm the other half of Grit and Grace, so I'm gonna totally promote that. And my partner should be watching. CJ should be in the house. And we have this awesome show, Grit and Grace TV. You can find us on Facebook. And we have great conversations, the conversations that people are afraid to have. So that's basically what we talk about. And we came off a month of talking about relationships, a lot of sex. So we kind of got a little sexed out, and
happens to the best of us.
Yeah. And we're going to delve into some other things. We've got coming up this week, we're going to talk about feminism. So that's one of those hot topics. So yeah, and come and check us out. Join the conversation. That's why we do the show, because we want to talk about, CJ and I don't have a problem talking about whatever. And so, but some people do. And so we want to make it easy for people to join in the conversation. We're kind of the icebreaker of things to talk about, so people aren't afraid or feel shame, or they don't have other people to talk to. They can reach out to us. They can reach out to us anonymously through our website at gritandgracetv.com. And yeah, it's been a blast. We've been doing it we launched May 4th, and that's a really big focus right now for me anyway. And I've been in podcasting for about 8 years. So I've done a lot of different things, and a lot of different types of shows and own networks. And so, but this is the most fun thing ever, Grit and Grace. And this is like my highlight of guesting, because I've been nervous for ages, telling CJ, going, oh my God, I don't know why he'd want me on the show. And this show is so nasty, and I don't know what I'm going to say. So here I am.
And Kwame, if you can introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Kwame. I am one half of Blaze Entertainment, also one half of I'd Rather Not podcast, as well as the managing producer of Pyro Media Network. Yes, I am a busy man. So I actually am here via Blaze Entertainment. Shout out to my co-host, Miss Free. Our podcast basically, and actually Drew is on it, so shout out to Drew again. Thanks for having us on. And our show basically kind of is we're very, what's the word? Controversial. We talk very sternly about the Black experience and just being Black within the United States and just in America in general. And so we kind of speak from that aspect, and just me as a African American LGBTQ guy, and then Miss Free being a Black woman, cisgender woman, and just kind of we both just kind of vent. It actually started out with just both of us just, kind of talking crap about just our everyday week or our weekly kind of crap that we're going through at work, or, just in our everyday lives. And then it turned into this pop culture, really focused on, speaking from our experience and just kind of getting our voices out there. So, yeah, that's Blaze Entertainment.
You can see why they got this pasty white Scottish guy on, can't you?
We're inclusive. We are inclusive.
Drew, I host this and the Terraformer podcast. If you don't know that, Why are you watching? First question. Why do you podcast? That's actually quite a calm, easygoing first question for a change.
Yeah,
so,
holy.
Who wants to take that one up?
Yeah, I'm shocked at the tameness of that question. Holy cow.
Right?
Why? I'll jump in. Why do I podcast? Because if I didn't, I don't know what I would do with myself. I started as not even really specifically to podcast, and I didn't realize how much it would grab a hold of me. And 8 years later, here I am doing it. And I'm just, I've always been better at talking. I used to be teased for talking a lot, and I used to get kicked out of class for talking a lot, and standing up for people. And I'm just so much better at expressing myself talking, and it's immediate. It's now. And I just want to say it now, and I want people to hear it now.
Kwame?
Yes.
I just keep seeing those googly eyes just below your head. It's like you got a pet on your lap. And that's where I keep looking, is just below you.
Sleeping. So for me, why I podcast, and actually I just started very similar to what Lynn was saying in terms of I've always been better at talking and expressing myself verbally as opposed to maybe writers or journalists. And I feel like I don't have time to write. And I have too much going on in my mind that I want to express and get out of my head, that it's just, writing is just too slow in terms of communicating for me. But I commend those that write novels. So, but for me, one of the reasons why I started podcasting was just to kind of vent out what I was saying and how I felt about things. But then it kind of turned into this platform to kind of have more voices for people of color, and just be able to kind of talk about where we come from and what we experience on a daily basis. And so, and just not even just people of color, but also, LGBTQ. I have been working with a lot of different organizations, the APLA, the LA LGBTQ Center, and so I've been really trying to focus on giving back more to the community, using this platform in terms of podcasting to kind of express and really just talk about things that need to be made aware of. And so for me, podcasting is not just a place to kind of talk about everything, in terms of the world, in terms of pop culture, or, Robin Black China, but also to talk about things that actually matter. You know what I mean? So for me personally, it's been a weird journey, because I didn't expect to kind of really delve into podcasting as much as when we started. It was just kind of a place to just shoot the shit with my co-hosts, but now it's turned into and I think for the better, kind of a platform for us to kind of express and talk about things that we feel are relevant and need to be talked about. So.
Yeah, for me, I've told this on various places, but I started podcasting as a way to push my boundaries with my social anxiety disorder. Other than that, it stops them putting you in the nut house if you're actually pretending to be talking to someone through the mic rather than just talking to yourself. The voices in your head.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
But
I'll
funny?
talk wherever I am.
Right?
Do you talk to yourself? Do you talk to yourself? I talk to myself all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Myself, but I stopped talking to myself out loud because people found it weird. So I just kind of have a conversation in my head, and that's how that goes.
Well, good for you for being able to stop. I still do it, and I'll do it shopping. You think I had an invisible friend shopping with me? Wow, this looks good. Yeah, I don't know about that, though. No, maybe we won't get that. And I've had people look at me and think, why are you looking at me? And then I think, shit, I think I was talking to myself out loud.
That's hilarious.
It's got to come out. It's just got to come out. So this is perfect.
I usually argue with myself.
Well, I've done that too.
And then get completely worked up over it. And it's like, I'm both sides of this conversation. Why am I getting worked up?
Not surprised. Good Lord.
Oh my God. Yes. I'm not alone.
Yeah. Slightly more iffy question. How do you keep your composure if you know a guest on your show is talking absolute shite and lying? For me, I don't. I usually call them on it. So, what about you guys?
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Linda, you want to go first?
You know what? That's only ever happened once, and I told them what I thought. I mean, nicely. I didn't boot them off the show and tell them where to go, but I definitely told them what I thought. But that only ever happened once in all the different shows and years, and yeah. Thank God.
That's happened to me a bunch.
That's never happened to me. And I think it's because, like, I feel like the people who we interview on our show, well, at least for Blaze Entertainment, the people who we bring on for the spotlight interviews, they're talking about themselves, and they're talking. It's a way for us to kind of put a spotlight onto them. And so I think that if they're going to talk crap and lie about what they're doing, it's going to come back onto them. But we do kind of pre-vet the people that we invite onto the show. So I've never really had that experience where somebody was lying about, because we research, and when I say we research, we might as well be the damn CIA when it comes to the guests that we bring on the show, because I feel like your credibility is kind of on the line. So, like, that's really weird. Like, that's a new question. I've never been asked that question before.
I usually
in the words of Miss Free, I would say we don't invite fake ass people on our show.
I usually just end up offending them. That's just the way it goes. I offend people. I offend people when they come on and they're nice guests. It's just part of the course.
You're gifted that way, Jero.
Yeah. I'm very special.
Good Lord.
What is the keys to forming a great chemistry with your co-host? These have all been actually not bad questions so far.
No, they haven't. They've been really good questions. Linda, you want to go first? Ladies first?
You know, I don't even, I don't know, you know, like, I can only speak, okay, co-host. Working with CJ on Grit and Grace is the first, okay, no, that's a lie. I have had a co-host before, but not for a set show. And that was kind of painful, and I won't say her name. And, but with CJ, I don't know, just completely effortless. And I don't know if it's because we have the same views on things. I don't know if, I don't know what it is, but I know it clicks and I know it works well. And we have the same vision for what we want to do. Our ways of approaching things are very similar. We don't have a problem with, being controversial. I mean, he has way less problem being controversial than I do. So, you know, that's that whole raw and real thing. So he's been a great inspiration for me to, like, you know, step out a little bit more with some of the topics that we've done. So that's been awesome. I don't know what the key to great chemistry is. I think you have it or you don't. You feel it. And I think you can only do so much, but there'll always be something there that's missing. And you're going to know it. You're going to feel it when it's right. And that's one thing that we've gotten so much feedback on is, wow, you guys have such great chemistry. And it was like, oh, wow, thanks. That's great. And then we would hear it again and we hear it again. And that's the word people were using. And it was like, then you start going, okay, so what does that mean? Like, like I never really thought about it. I thought, wow, this is great to work with someone that's creative. This feels awesome. I can't wait to do the show on Thursday, and it just feels so right. So I can't say what it's a feeling. You just know, and if it doesn't work, you have to, cut the ties. It just doesn't work. So I can't. I don't think there is. I don't think there's a key to make it work, to get it where it's superb, where it just is so bang on strong.
I have to piggyback onto what Lynn's saying. That, I mean, you either have it or you don't. I think it is important, when kind of like that stuff should not be forced. You know what I mean? Like, and I think I've seen a lot, or heard a lot of podcasts who kind of force it. And it just, you can hear it. You can hear the lack of cohesion. You can hear the lack of camaraderie between them. And so, like, it's hard for me personally. I don't know what that is, because I have such great chemistry with my partner, with when it comes to, my partner Miss Free, when it comes to like how we think and how the show is going to be run, and different ideas. And we're a phenomenal balance with each other, because she knows when to check me and I know when to check her on things. And so more often than not, she's checking me. But a lot of the times, like, she's a great balance when it comes to keeping me, grounded, and keeping me focused on task, and not going above and beyond, or not doing more than I should prior to when it needs to be done. So I think that, to kind of circle back, I don't think that there's a word or an explanation, or, it's just something that you just know. It's one of those things where you can hear, like with Lynn and CJ, like it's clear, I'm saying, that they work really well together. When it comes to Miss Free and myself, it's clear that we work really well together, and the success of the shows prove that. So I think that, I'm always the type of person that, you never know, because you have people that, come from completely opposite backgrounds, or come from similar backgrounds and still don't work, or come from completely opposite backgrounds and work really well. Or, so you don't know until you see the fruits of the labor. And so I always look at podcasts and see, well, how is this panning out for them? How do you feel at the end of the show after watching them, or at listening to them, and seeing how you felt? Did they work? Did it seem like it was forced? And I think that, you just know. And I think the audience just knows as well. So
yeah, that's the proof in the pudding right there. The audience feels it. If it's painful
right
to watch, it's painful. It's like, and there's somewhere I've seen where it's like, it's painful. Like, you're like gripping your chair, like watching them, going, why are you continuing this insanity? Like stop.
Or even when you listen to some of them, it's like, ugh, girl, you want to stop? Like, I'm sorry. And
I don't know, do you think it's like the man-woman thing that gives the balance? I don't know. Like, is it the male-female? Is it I don't know.
Honestly, I don't think so, because I've heard some podcasts where it was two guys. They sound amazing together. They just have a great click. And then I've heard the same thing with like multiple, like Between Us Girls podcasts.
That's true.
Amazing. Shout out to them. They're an amazing podcast, and they have a great chemistry with each other. So, like, and then you wouldn't notice, like, sometimes, because they bicker with each other sometimes, but that's what makes them work. You know what I'm saying? Like, they offset each other on different things. And so I think, I don't know, you can just tell. Like,
you can. Yeah, you can tell. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't co-host any shows. There's a reason. But
you and your voice that you talk to.
I just co-host with myself, which just sounds wrong. That sounds like I'm saying something else there, which you should imply.
Needs to be a laundry.
Probably so. I would say the
little friend.
Yep.
You love it. House.
One with the ego booster, you and your little friend. I would say if you were putting it into having people on a show like this, week in, week out. I always find to get good chemistry going, you do some banter beforehand. It gets people laughing, and then you start the show with them laughing, and it tends to continue. Unless you have a person on that's just not funny or doesn't have a good sense of humour, and then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, right.
A show I would call out for having really good chemistry is, I don't know if you've listened to it, is the More Gooder Than podcast. Those three guys, where they review, they do three randomly linked movies, and they each pitch why one's more gooder than the other. They have really, really good chemistry, but I think the reason for it is because they're such good friends. So that can help. Although I did one of these between my buddies, and we probably didn't have that great a chemistry on the show.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
A random question. What singer or band who are now dead or done, that's charming, would you have liked to see perform live in their prime?
Either dead or done?
Yeah, I'm guessing done means that they're now shit.
Okay. Or I guess they're not out anymore. I don't know. Okay. I'm not gonna try to comprehend that. Let's see. Oh, Lynn, you go first. Ladies first.
That we've never seen. What's the question?
Yeah.
Can you repeat that again, please?
Yeah, I'll scroll back to it. What singer or band who are now dead or done? So I'm guessing by done they just mean either don't tour or have gone crap. Would you have liked to see perform live in their prime?
Who asked that question? I'm
Uh,
suspicious.
that is a person called Crazy Mofo.
Yeah.
That's also concerning.
I'm not actually 100%. I can't actually say 100% for sure that person isn't 14.
Oh,
Going
cool.
by
Okay.
the picture. So Crazy Mofo is a strange name to let your Wayne have on social media.
Right. Okay. Let's see. It's hot. I'm sorry, guys. If you guys see me with a towel, it's because it's hot in California and it's too much. So anyway, I would like to see if they can come back. Aaliyah come back. Yeah, Aaliyah. I think that she was at the height of her career, and I think she was getting ready to even blow up even more before she passed. So I think that she would have been probably a legend by now, when it comes to like R&B and where she was going with her music. So yeah, Aaliyah. I would say Aaliyah.
For me, don't know. Probably I would just pick someone that had a reputation for being really good live or something like that. So maybe a Sinatra or an Elvis or someone that I would actually enjoy the music of, like Prince.
Well,
yes.
Someone like that.
Yes.
Okay. So I was going to say Prince, but let me
Oh,
tell you why I didn't say Prince.
Oh, no.
Hold on.
You can't be Prince now. You said your answer.
No, I was going to say Prince, but the question was who was dead or done, and what was at the height of their career.
Yeah.
Prince was already a legend. He was already a musical prodigy. Okay, so I feel like there's nobody that can. I mean, once you hit that level of like fandom and fame and just musicality, like I just feel like you have already made a name for yourself. There's no need. You can come in and out, back and forth when it comes to like fame and spotlight as much as you want. He passed away. He's still in the spotlight. He is Prince. So.
That is right, and there will be no other. That is my answer, and I am sticking to it.
There will never be another Prince.
No,
never.
never.
There will never be another Prince. There will never be another Michael Jackson. There will never be another Beatles. There will never be another so many legends.
Yeah. But like you said, Drew, too, if I had to go way back, like somebody that I've never seen, because I think that's sort of like the question that was asked. I saw Prince in concert, but to go way back to an era that's good is like the Frank Sinatra, the Sammy Davis Jr., you know, those boys. That era is just, there's a class and a mystique about that time that is just, I love that. So that would be a choice for me of someone I've never seen. Long before my time.
Here's one that's quite relevant to at least one on the panel. What is Trump's America like to live in as a gay African-American male?
Who asked that damn question?
It's an anonymous question that's just been sent. So I don't know if that's just someone that's not in my group and I can't see their name, or...
I have a feeling I know who it is.
I bet I know who it is.
Right. Oh,
well, I can't answer this one, so you can go first, Kwame.
Right?
I'll take this one.
I appreciate it. Right? Roll up my sleeves here. Right? It's painful.
Hard to take you seriously with Cookie Monster there, just below your face.
I know, right? Shit. It's painful, to be quite honest with you. It is like walking around with a hot, searing knife in your chest all day. Like, because you don't know when you're going to meet somebody who is going to be feeling you. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I feel like it's been, for me personally, like it's been scary, and I can't imagine, you know, other like LGBTQ women or, you know, trans women, trans men, and so I was in the army, so like I was able to pass off for as much as I can as the hetero black guy, but now it's so that was a little difficult, huh? Wow. I think now it's just, you know, especially being more aware of what's going on, you know, in regards to you know, how I is that CJ?
Oh my God!
What's going on, everybody?
Was this the surprise that we had?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Ripka, what's going on, brother?
What's up? Hey, I just heard that question about being a black gay man in America with Donald Trump, and I wanted to say I'm actually an expert on this topic.
Oh,
yeah.
You're just
I'm an
killing
expert on this
everything.
topic. I'm an expert on this topic because, well, I went to a pride party last week and I saw everything that I needed to see to become an expert. So,
well, I'm enlightened. Please, you know, inquire minds want to know.
Hey, I'm not going to expand on that. I thought on social media we just had to call ourselves expert, and people just took your word for it.
Right.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're right.
The shade of it all, CJ.
Oh my God.
Hilarious.
What's happening, Drew?
We're having a lot of fun. We've had a lot of normal questions, which is actually scaring me a little.
You know what? I thought you were setting them up for something big or something. I was like, where the hell did these questions come from?
Right? I was expecting like, you know, like more like joking questions, something like not so serious. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a break from Blaze Entertainment. No, like, you know, on the social justice warrior platform. Now I can sit back and chill with Drew and Lynn and now CJ. And all of a sudden I'm getting all these heavy ass questions. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, well, I was sitting there listening to the show and I'm like, okay, that was okay. So here's the thing though. I'm sitting there listening to the show, and what you guys aren't realizing is there are people asking questions in the chat. So I was like, fuck this. I'm going to get on over there. I'm going to bring it up, and we're going to talk about some of the people that are in this chat. You know, so like Dave Mariska, dude, we got to talk about that fucker because he's always supporting everything that we do. And Dave, it's awesome to see you playing along and all that kind of stuff. But he asked a question. He says, "Where do we have to send a question for him to read it on air?" Well, apparently, you have to send it to me, and I'll go in and hijack Drew's show. And
right? I feel like CJ should be like the honorary listener letter guy. Like,
the agony uncle.
On everybody's show.
Yeah, for some reason, the Facebook questions I never seem to bloody notice. It's always just Twitter and Reddit for some reason. I get questions from there. I don't know why. People are weird.
Oh, yeah, there'd be way more questions on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, and I even predicted who Lynn was going to say was her artist.
Oh,
and I knew it was going to be the artist that was formerly living called Prince. And
shut up.
You're such an asshole. You are a horrible human being, CJ.
He's so mean to me.
Yeah, well, I said Selena, you know, because, you know, Selena, well, face it, she was hot. But, you know, I thought it would have been cool to see a crossover act. It would have been awesome.
What are you talking about?
I'm going backwards in questions here. I'm going through all these questions that you guys missed. So I'm going back, you know. So.
Unbelievable.
Drew, you should hire CJ as your assistant there. He can handle the Facebook.
Right?
And
You're on Facebook duty.
I second this notion.
okay.
No, it truly is a pleasure, though, to finally meet you, Kwame. I know we've had a lot of conversations back and forth on social media, but we've actually never, you know, talked face to face or well.
I know it's weird, huh?
Anyways.
Yes, it is a pleasure to meet you like face to face now, because I know we talk a lot on like Podcast Discovery Center. Shout out to Podcast Discovery Center. You guys can see. Yes.
I don't have one bit of swag from the PDC, so forget them.
I love the fact that Lynn was the one that booed there.
Right? Of all people, like I thought it was gonna be Rip gonna do it. It was Lynn.
No, actually, I muted myself so that would like I wouldn't talk over top of her when she did that because I knew that was coming.
No, you didn't.
No,
I've got no swag from the PDC.
Oh,
I
have to fix
contribute
that.
all the time.
in fact, I was like the first group of people that got swag from the PDC. So, hey, much love to you, Scott, Anthony.
Oh,
You can screw yourself. But no, no, actually, no,
I
They
don't
have
want
done
any of their
nothing.
swag so they can.
yeah, they've done nothing but support everything that I've done. So I have got nothing bad to say about those two guys.
yeah,
Those
they
two
have
guys.
been very supportive. Yes,
They're
absolutely.
good people.
Anthony, Scott, like tons of people in there. Dave and Drew and like
Andre,
Cole and yeah, Andre. Like
the
many.
super spammer. He knows I love him though.
Andre's good people too. Andre's good people.
yeah, a lot of great people in there. Just no,
Mhm.
just
You know,
That
I
is
gotta say
awesome.
though, Drew was the first person. Drew was the very first person that I ever talked to in the PDC that understood my sense of humor. Because I would just say some stupid ass, smart ass shit, and he would comment like "that's funny" or "LOL" or smiley face or whatever. Everybody else thought I was just a little asshole, but Drew was the first one that actually got my sense of humor. So I thought that was
Well,
kind of.
hold on.
'Cause
I
you're
mean,
both
you were a
the
little
same.
asshole.
you're both the same.
I mean, let's be honest.
Oh,
But we like you.
no, let's do that.
You got to own it, didn't you? I know I'm an arsehole, so it's fun.
But that's
You know,
what
it's
makes you guys cool.
Oh, hey, I got to ask you this, Drew. This came up. I wanted to know if you what's your sign? What's your astrological sign?
Taurus.
You're a Taurus. Okay, perfect. Because I want to read this for you because this is absolutely.
Oh my
fantastic.
God.
Oh yeah, you know what's coming, girl. You know what's happening. It's happening right now, and he's gonna love it. Did you read Taurus, Lynn?
Is this what you sent me? Like,
Oh yeah.
no, just before the show.
Yes. Did you read?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna bring a little grit and grace to the Haver tonight.
We're not sexed out, I guess.
No.
He's found the little blue pills.
I told everybody in. Yeah. Well, no, we're not sprinkling those breadcrumbs quite yet, Drew. We'll get to that one. But so Taurus. And what are you, Kwame?
I'm a Capricorn.
What's your
Capricorn?
Yes.
Okay, that was an inch.
Ew, Lynn. Why you said a Capricorn? The hell?
Well, because we're Aries.
No, I didn't
We're
mean
Aries,
it
so
like that. No, I didn't mean it like that. I was letting him know because he didn't hear.
It sounded like she's like Capricorn.
So here's Capricorn. We're going to start off on Capricorn here. So people think Capricorn are prudish and shy, but really they're just extremely private and earthy signs that need time to warm up before they sizzle. Typically, Capricorns hidden underneath the colder exterior are hot lovers. Kwame?
Well, I am.
He's looking at me pretty hard.
All right. The thing
That
about
explains
them
the term.
is that they. I know, right? The thing about them is that they need ample physical stimulation before they are ready to go big. The best place for sex with a Capricorn would be the spa getaway, either after a professional couples massage or after rubbing each other down in the bedroom. And they must be behind closed doors if you ever want a chance. Capricorns are definitely not into PDAs or doing it anywhere remotely near the public eye.
Oh, that sucks.
I know, right? I'm
Really?
assuming that you don't see a whole lot of Capricorns in porn.
This whole podcast has gone in a direction that I did not expect.
See, this is what you guys expected from a Haver. This is what you expected. But we've been doing it for 30 minutes, Now CJ's here and he's gonna fuck shit up, just like I said in the chat. So,
Oh my God, Cookie Monster's eyes are rolling in the back of his head.
Oh man, I thought. Oh wow, this conversation.
This is why CJ's now been on the show almost as much as me.
well, half as many times as you almost. Yeah.
God, my
So-
glasses are steaming up.
So here's
Holy shit.
Taurus it's a 5 senses extravaganza for Taurus. So don't even think about sex with them unless you have all the bases covered. That's the date night in a luxury hotel like the Four Seasons and go through all the motions. Hey, I saw your vacation, the Leaning Tower of Pizza and all that kind of shit. It's pretty romantic. So I guess you should cover all the bases, huh? So fancy dinner with a top-notch food, candles, a must. Even if you have a signature cologne or perfume, Taurus is a sign of comfort and habits. So you can train them to feel cozy with you if you continuously wear the same scent. My scent is Miller Lite. That's just me, but you do. It's a 600 plus spread count. Some sensual music and be ready. You're just a total romantic, aren't you, Drew? I never would have thought of that. Never would have seen that in you, man. Never.
Oh, I'm seeing a whole new side to you, Drew.
That's a side no one really ever sees, especially my wife, apparently.
So awkward. So awkward.
Oh.
I'm not going to say anything just in case she's like 6'5" also. I don't need her showing up at my door and beating the living shit out of me either.
6'1".
So
Not far off.
oh, gee, Martha, holy crap! Hey, would you like to hear Aries?
Yes.
Would you like to hear about Lynn? I know you guys do. Trust me. It'll be worth it. But I'm gonna make you wait a little bit because I figured maybe somebody else should talk for a while. I gotta drink some more booze.
Oh, that's what it is.
I thought it was coffee.
You honestly thought it was anything other than booze?
We can never, ever use this show as a lead to get sponsorship, CJ.
Why the fuck?
Yeah.
Tried?
Right?
Have you seen any show I do?
Yes, I
There's a-
have. That's
there's
why I
a-
was very, very scared.
There's a reason this doesn't have a sponsorship, and there's a reason my podcast doesn't either.
Hey, somebody out there is going to sponsor your show one day.
Yeah, totally.
I agree.
And it will be that one day that you're probably not doing a show, but they will sponsor your show for one day.
They'll sponsor it for the one day. They'll get me to do an ad read, and my ad read will be, buy this shit, it pays the bills, and then they won't sponsor me anymore.
I totally would have used that as a commercial. Like,
Okay, so Aries, whenever, wherever. Aries is one of the most direct and at times vulgar, yeah, right, signs of the zodiac. But their vulgarity isn't intentional. Apparently, it just slips out. Not all the time, just sometimes.
oh God.
Oh man, I just got that.
Come on. It's a byproduct of their desire to move quickly and impulsively. When it comes to sex, it needs to be whenever and wherever the mood strikes. Aries are known for having very strong but also short-lived sex drive. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
A 5 or 10 minute quickie out in public, like sneaking into one of the private bathrooms. Not the private bathrooms. Behind the building is fine. The private bathrooms at the movie theater after catching a film in the movie theater, probably.
Yeah.
And banging it out there in the moment will totally turn an Aries on. Hey, I'll be honest with you. I once was driving past the cemetery. I looked over. She was ready. We stopped, pulled over behind one of the headstones.
CJ, stop,
Oh,
CJ.
Over here.
What?
Sorry.
In the actual fuck.
Hey, if that makes you feel any better, I got it in the ass that night. A bunch of fucking mosquitoes set in the ass.
So, this conversation.
We will get no
way left.
grace viewers.
Hey, it was a mosquito. It was a mosquito that bit me in the ass. That's what I got it in the ass. It was a mosquito. I had to use calamine lotion for like a week.
Oh my God.
That's what they all say.
Oh, I set you up, Drew, and you knocked it out of the post. Yes.
Oh my Lord. Any other questions there, CJ?
Yeah. Can we change the subject?
No, I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
I have a bunch. I'm trying to scroll through the ones that are appropriate.
Well, do we
Okay, so-
really need to be concerned about that?
Right.
Why don't we go back to
I think that went out the window like 5 minutes ago. Like,
5 minutes ago? You don't even realize I've been here for 15 minutes already. Holy.
Here's one that's a bit.
Oh, let's see what the comments are saying over here on YouTube while he's twisting off on his questions.
Were you nervous about coming on a show with this asshat hosting with a live mic? I think people would have been nervous if they knew Chris was coming on.
yeah. Thanks for not telling me, Drew.
You know what's funny is Dave just commented over in YouTube. He says, I walk away for 2 minutes and now Rip is on.
Was this the surprise?
Uh-huh.
No, actually, the surprise was supposed to be he actually had a Sibian coming on the show, and somebody was going to write that. But unfortunately, that was the next best thing that he could find.
Oh, you're the next best thing.
Okay, so there's. Oh yeah, baby. No, actually, there's an inside joke there, and that was that I was hoping I was going to be able to use that.
That's a pun in itself there.
Oh hell yeah! I'm the king of unintentional puns.
Good Lord. Oh fuck.
Carry on. I'm waiting.
Right.
There you go. Worst and best podcast you have heard recently? Some of the time that's
Raw
the
and Real.
show.
Yeah, Raw and Real, and probably Raw and Real. Just saying.
Fuck.
Wait, this other than the podcast that we have, or like what's the question?
Other than the one I was on with you.
Kwame's answer: anything CJ Ripka's on.
Sure. Good Lord.
I thought you were going to have a good show tonight.
I can't say worst. We can't say that. I can't.
Yes,
I'm not going to say worst. No. I'm not going there.
No. I'm not going there.
I will say a couple of ones that I've heard recently that I enjoyed a lot. I won't say best or worst because I do have a spectrum of different podcasts that I listen to, and so in all fairness and to protect the brand,
Yeah.
And because Cookie Monster says so.
And because Cookie Monster says so. That should be my nickname. Anyway, the last one that I heard that I really, really enjoyed is called Getting Grown Podcast, and that's on I believe the Loudspeakers Network. They're just really down-to-earth chicks and just really hilarious and kind of really real about like everything that's going on in their lives. So it's very similar to what Miss Free and I talk about. However, they are more focused on I guess the female perspective. So yeah. Enjoy them a lot.
Yeah, I can't say worse. I can't say a worst.
I won't. No.
Yeah, I can't. I just can't because I can't. But yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there. But to be honest, I don't listen to a lot. I don't have a lot of time because I listen to some. I'm listening to other people's shows that I help them launch. So I spend a lot of time doing that, and so I don't actually have a lot of time. But that one, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, Between Us Girls, I do like that one.
Yes.
And I do like Andre's show, and
yes, the Electric Radio Show.
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
like.
Yeah, sure. Spam it for him, Kwame. Spam it.
No.
You're so bad.
He's hilarious.
I love those guys. I absolutely love Jack and Andre.
It's a great dynamic. Great dynamic.
Yeah. And then you throw in Sacred Owl and what's that girl's name? I don't know. I can't remember. She's not important. But I'm just kidding. I just don't remember her name. And she's awesome. I'm terrible.
Not remembering her name. You've been there before, haven't you, mate?
No,
so
well,
CJ's never going on that show.
Oh no, they'll never have me on their show.
Right.
So bad.
They're afraid something like this would happen.
So bad.
Drew's
CJ
the only
needs
one
that-
that's got the also actually asked me to come on his show anymore.
Hey, I asked you to come on my show, sir.
You did?
Yeah, the last time we talked.
Yeah, but are you sure you want him on?
That's a different question.
Well, before tonight, I did.
No, I respect CJ. He's good people.
He is, yeah. He needs these outlets like this, you know, because with just grit and grace, he can't.
Right? He needs to expand.
He's just a force that just needs to let it rip. Gotta let him go play sometimes. So
You're seriously not going to talk about the worst podcast that you've listened to?
no, I'm not. No.
No.
Why would you do? Why? It's part of being real. It's part of showing. It's part of being authentic. God damn it!
I can be
Okay, I'll say
authentic
this.
without telling, without naming.
Right.
So
And I will say this. I won't say the name, but I'll say why I didn't like it. And I'm not going to give any clues as to why I didn't like this particular show.
Oh, that's
Like
good.
There you go.
I'm going to say the name if I know it.
Oh, Drew.
I'm almost sure you don't know it, Drew. I'm almost positive. God, you're such an ass. So this particular show I was listening to because it was one of those days in podcast Discovery Center where we were kind of throwing out like our websites and just like kind of giving letting people know our websites and if we have any like comments or whatever. So during that time, this is like that day when I was like, okay, I had a lot of time. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna watch or go to all of these people's websites, make a comment on it. And while I was doing that, I was listening to some snippets of their show, of everybody's shows. Well, this particular podcast that I listened to, although the website was gorgeous and was awesome, whatever, the show was just blatantly racist. Like, it was just out and out racist. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it wasn't even, you can't even hide it. You can't even, like, cover it up with a little racism. You know what I mean? Like, you came out straight out with the hoods out, and it was so bad. And I sat there and I wasn't even angry. I was just like, wow, these people have like, and it wasn't like I wasn't listening to like, you know, what is that thing that Tommy Lauren's on, The Blaze. I wasn't like listening to their stuff. It was like, but it was like just blatant, like hard. And what pissed me off in the beginning,
gotta go in there.
Yeah, it wasn't even because the blatant racism happened like later on, like as I was listening. But it was just the sheer misogyny. Just like and what's super gross to me, like I feel like if you are on a microphone, you need to know that you are not being seen, obviously, so you can pretty much do whatever you want to do. However, you're on a microphone. We can hear everything. So you coughing or spitting or snorting or whatever the hell you're doing or sipping your cup of whatever, and it's just, I just think that's gross. Or burping in a mic. Here comes CJ with his assholeness. As a clear example, I appreciate you, being the representation for what I'm talking about.
I was just trying to give audio cues for the audio crowd, And
I appreciate it. But this particular podcast had me like, I just couldn't believe.
Now I would know. Now I want to know what it is.
Oh, I'll tell you offline.
Okay.
Yeah, I will blow that up.
Don't tell
CJ.
I'll get all these people to go spam them if you want. You can tell me off air. I'll get people to spam them.
I'm not telling you or CJ because I know how you two are.
I will create a show dedicated to fucking with the show.
Oh,
that is
CJ. I'm not liking this.
I'm all about loving everybody, just being, a great human being. But when you're gonna spit that kind of poison out to a world of listeners who are going to share that poison to other people,
Right.
You know what? No, we don't have room for that kind of shit. That's the kind of stuff that keeps setting us back. Every time we move forward, we get ignorant people like that push us back.
Yeah, but you have to don't lower to their level, though, is the thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
See, sometimes that's the only way you can fight is if you get down to that level.
Oh, okay.
Don't lower to them
Okay,
level,
Trump.
CJ. What we'll do is we'll set up a podcast where every episode is we review that show. And we'll be very nice about it. Just like we can.
You and I can. Only you and I can.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so concerned.
Better wipe your brow there.
What? Right, and I can see this happening, and this is totally great and fine. I see this becoming a podcast. What it can be is Drew and CJ can talk mad shit about the particular podcast, and then me and Lynn will come through and be like, "Hey,
we're sorry for their action."
Right. So what they meant to say, right?
And I'll be like, "Oh, this one in my mouth."
Right. We'll translate for you guys. So what they meant to say was. So.
Yeah, exactly. This was it, really.
All those C-bombs that Drew dropped, that's not what he really meant.
Right.
No, that was.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can translate that.
Right. He meant Christmas. Like, he meant love, peace, and joy. He is a lost fellow.
They were a right bunch of fucking Christmases.
Oh my God, I'm dying. I don't have enough Kleenex in this office.
That's why I brought a towel.
No. Next time I'll bring my towel.
Right.
Hey, do you guys listen to podcasts like on cycles though? Because like when I get into a podcast, I'll listen to like that podcast like every day for like a month, and then I'll just get burnt out on it. So then I'll go to a different one, and then eventually I'll come back around and try to catch up to from where I left off.
No.
You guys, or you just follow?
No.
I listen to it weekly, so it just depends on whatever's new for that week. I'll go in because I've tried that before. I've tried listening to like that's actually how I got into podcasts. Miss Free introduced me to one of our favorite podcasts, and I just listened to them all the way through until we decided that we wanted to do a podcast ourselves. And I had to stop listening to them after a while because it was too much. Like I was always hearing them, like I was listening to it. It was like binge watching Game of Thrones. You know, like you're in it. Like,
I can do that. I can watch Game of Thrones like from season 1 to the end in a weekend. It wouldn't bother me. That's just the kind of person I am.
in a weekend. Whoa, how do you do that?
Oh, yeah. 6 o'clock in the morning, and I don't stop. I just go episode after episode. My wife brings me a Gatorade bottle to pee in, and I'm good. No, she doesn't do that. She doesn't do that. That is not.
No, I
That
don't.
makes me go. No, but no, I do like I binge listen to them like so like Andre is always asking me, "Hey, did you listen to this episode?" I'm like, "No, it's not Saturday yet. I haven't listened to it." And the reason why I only listen to it on Saturdays is because that's the day I mow my lawn, and that is the only show that I have found on the podcatcher I go to is Podcast Republic. For some reason, the audio level is really low on a lot of shows, but their show is so damn loud. I actually got to turn it down. And so I listen to it when I'm mowing the lawn because it's the only one I can really hear. And so I'll listen to 2 or 3 of their shows, and then I won't listen to it for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then Andre's blowing me up. Hey, are you listening to my show? But and I'm honest with him. I say, yeah, I'm listening to your show.
3 weeks ago.
Right. Just
I
not
can say-
currently.
There is only actually one that I do listen to regularly, and that's She Podcasts.
Huh.
I get a lot of really good information, like in real time sometimes, because one of them actually works at Libsyn. So, and the other one is just, she'll say what she thinks. So I like that. She'll put it out there. She says what she thinks. So I that's probably the only one. So other than that, no. As they come across my line of sight, that's when I'll catch it. Or if I know something particular is coming up, someone gives me a heads up about something, or then I will. But I've never like binge listened like one after the other. I don't think I could do that. I need excitement, and got to be different all the time. I couldn't do that.
It's because you're an Aries. However,
That's right.
whenever, wherever, you know how we do. Anyways.
Oh God.
You guys heard? I just want to ask you if you guys have heard this guy's podcast yet. Not that it's a favorite podcast or anything. I'm just now finding it. I really haven't decided if I like it yet or not. But it's the Scott McGlynn show. You guys heard of it?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
It's a well-produced show. The guy does a good job.
It is.
You listen to episode 1. The content is great, but the audio sucked. You can see where he's worked on everything and just constantly been improving. And now he's finally to a point where the content is fabulous. And I'm using his word, not mine. His content is fabulous. And
God,
he's
CJ.
good. He's good. He is amazing on the microphone. I really enjoy his interviews too. His interview style is a little bit stuffy. You know, it'll come around, but that's a good show. I can't put it in my top 5 shows yet, but it's a good show.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lynn.
I was just going to say, I'm just curious to know, if a show is really well produced, are you more inclined to listen to it, or is it just you like the voice captures you, what you're listening to is good, or how big of a role does production play in you listening to a show, or being loyal that you will listen again and again? Because there's some really great produced shows, but I'm not, they don't make me come back.
There's a lot of well-produced shows that are just shit.
Yeah.
Because the creator has no personality. For me, it's all personality. If the host has personality, I'll put up with shit audio.
Yeah.
I put up with shit audio though. I cannot stand listening to someone who sounds like they're standing at the back of a gymnasium trying to yell across into a blue snowball microphone. That to me is absolutely shit. And I can't.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lynn.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, there is a line, of course, like I've listened to somewhere. If it's painful to listen to, yeah, I'm definitely not going to listen to it. But if I can hear you somewhat clearly enough, I'll listen for sure.
And I think I'm along the same lines as Lynn, but I mean, I do in the very, very beginning when I first started listening to podcasts, CJ's point, to his point when he was talking about in terms of audio quality, it did make me kind of have a determining factor of whether I was going to listen to it or not in the long run. And so I think that audio quality and production does help tremendously to kind of maintain or even obtain rather your audience. But to maintain them, I think your content is what it's about, you know. And I've noticed that there is a lot, like in the beginning of Blaze Entertainment, we listened to it. We just had our 1-year anniversary last week, and so I listened to the week before, like all of our shows, or as much as I could, you know, in terms of our favorites and top ones that we've had. And listening to our very first episodes to now, we have and we still, I feel like, you know, still have a ways to go in terms of audio quality and in terms of production and learning and growing and stuff like that. As I do think, you know, with a lot of different podcasts, but I think for the most part, our audio quality now is completely different than where it was in the beginning, and it was complete shit in my opinion. But the content was there, and I think that that's why people gravitated towards us. So again, production is good for when it comes to obtaining, because then you're able to grab the audience, you're able to, like, hone them into what you want them, hone them into your show. But to maintain them, I think that you have to have some good quality and good content for your show in terms of what it's about.
Well, because I see a lot of people go through a lot of trouble to have a very fancy, for lack of a better word, production. This fancy little intro, and then they're talking, and then there's another little intro, and it's really, really heavily produced, but it's boring as hell. And I see people go through so much trouble and trying to promote that, say, as a service even to other podcasters. And it's like, that makes no difference whatsoever to me. And I'm sure most people, but like Kwame was saying, to grab people initially. But if you are about as exciting as a bucket of rocks, they're not going to stick around. So why spend the money on that fancy production? So that's why I wonder, why do people continue to do that fancy production?
Because they have no personalities. That's all they've got.
They got to compensate.
It all comes out of imitation of radio. They grew up listening to radio and everything like that, and that radio is going to be the gold standard. Podcasting will never replace terrestrial radio. It just won't ever happen. And as long as terrestrial radio is the gold standard, podcasters are going to continuously try to emulate that sound. They're going to try to be as professional as them, or at least seem as professional as them. I mean, hell, that is the reason why I'm sitting here with a freaking mixing board and a goddamn $300 microphone I don't use anymore. But I went out and bought all that crap because radio was my gold standard. That's where I learned how to do everything. That's what I was going to emulate.
And that's fine, really. I mean, that's fine. It's just for those people that say are good and want to get into it, if they feel that they're not able to match up to that standard, so to speak, if they're hearing podcasts like that, and there's people out there who should be out there sharing their voice, and may never start because they're so intimidated.
Right.
It's hard enough to really, educating people is the big thing in it. And yeah, so anyway, so there's, for anybody who's listening, watching, can go, look at, here's like there's 4 of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
I haven't
that are saying that, you know what? It's you. It's who you are. Be you. It's not, you don't have to be fancy. So don't stall. Don't wait. Like,
and just to add on to what Chris was saying, I don't think that, yes, podcasting will never replace terrestrial radio, but I do think that there is this whole evolution of how people intake and consume media. When it came to, YouTube, a lot of people were not like into it before, and then it was this huge rush of YouTubers and all these different things. And now it's like, a big deal. And then now streaming is coming into play, when it comes, I think that there's always going to be something better, I guess, or not, let me not say better, another alternative, when it comes to how people consume.
I don't know if it's alternative. I think it's progression is what you're going for, because everything goes in a progression. We went from, radio to television, from television to internet to, we have our podcasts, and then, blogs and all that stuff. And you're right. I mean, people are going to consume, they're going to consume media in the easiest form for them. Some people, their easiest form. Other people, it's the computer. Other people, it's the television. But they're going to consume media in its easiest form for them. So to be in all places at all times, it's next to impossible, but it's happening. You can watch Facebook Live sitting on your couch in your living room now on your television.
Right.
So,
but that's the thing. That's the thing, CJ. And I think that's where, you can't do that with radio. You can only go to, an actual radio to listen to those things. But with our phones, like literally 99.9% of everyone has a phone. You know what I'm saying? So, or have the cell phone or some type of mobile device. And whether it be a tablet, whether it be a laptop, whether it be a cell phone, that's giving them access to podcasts and other streaming type things like YouTube videos and things of that nature. So I think that, yes, radio is going to forever be here because it's our most basic platform and how we kind of where we emulate from, like you said. And I think that's something that podcasters, which is why a lot of podcasters who are kind of growing really fast and who are doing, who are successful in it, the ones that tend to not go too much towards the radio side is the ones that I see are becoming a little more successful because they're not doing that same thing that has always been the quote unquote standard. And so they're doing something different. And I think that's where, what Lynn was talking about in terms of, well, it's not always about the production, and about the production side of the house. And yes, you want to be as clear and sound as good as possible, but there's a lot of phenomenal people who I think that have great personalities and that should have podcasts or have some type of media outlet so they can say what they need to say, but they won't or can't because they don't have $5 million in, podcasting equipment.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Thank God I had $4 million because I wouldn't have been able to do
Not everybody can line their studio floor with beer cans.
Right.
You hear that? That she's not lying. That is actually okay. Look,
what is wrong with you?
I have a passion.
You should start a beer podcast.
My yeah, PBR. That's the poor man's Miller Lite. No, but really, it's like my beer hobby created a podcast problem, and now I just don't clean up. Apparently.
What a guy.
Hello? Oh, I thought I lost you there.
Yeah, you did. I muted myself because I didn't want to cough because I didn't want your sensitive ears to be, oh my God. I'm just, I got to pee. Here's the one thing you'll learn about me. I will say something, and I'll pick up on something, and then I'll bring it back to that at some point when it's appropriate.
Yes, he will.
And I thought, this is, I'll tell you what, I learned everything that I know about delivery and things like that by watching the greats. Robin Williams, George Carlin, Sam Kinison, people like that. I never felt that it was good to watch the people on TV like the Jay Lenos and all that kind of stuff because they have a style to them that's, it's set it up, punchline, done. Set it up, punchline, done. But when you get into like these comedians, like the George Carlins and stuff like that, they tell a story, and they will start the story, and the story will continue to go. And if you really pay attention, they will start it off with a pretty vanilla joke. The joke is it's basically just to get a giggle, something to warm your diaphragm up, because if you don't warm up the diaphragm, you will die at some point in their show. And they'll start it off with that little giggle. But then by the end of the show, they've brought it back to that first vanilla joke, and they've totally made it Rocky Road, baby. And they have made that. So,
Rivka, I feel like you are justifying your assholishness. Or at least trying to, and I commend it.
No. There is no justification. This is who I am.
He does bring it back around well, though. He does.
Oh, does he? Is it that whole Aries thing?
Front, back, and side to side. Yeah.
No, and I've seen him do it on his show and stuff. Like he'll just bring something back, and that is that. I know what he's talking about. You've totally forgotten what that thing was, and then bam, in your face, he brought it back. So,
well, Kwame has to bounce. So, can you tell everyone where they can find you online?
So yes, you can find me. My personal Twitter account is Cyrus11. That's SYRIS. You can also find everything Blaze Entertainment at entertheblaze.com. All of our social media handles are that way. Enter the Blaze at Facebook and Twitter, all that stuff. And I'm also on I'd Rather Not podcast, so you can also go to I'd Rather Not pod.com. And then if for all things Pirate Media Network, go to piratmedianetwork.com as well. Check out all of our other shows on the network, and we're also getting some new shows, which this is the first time that I've mentioned that outside of public. I shouldn't have said that out loud.
Oh, hey, don't worry.
Exclusive. So yes, the Haver has an exclusive. We have some new shows coming out on Pirate Media Network and or joining Pirate Media Network within the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned.
Awesome.
Well, it's been great having you on the show.
Yeah, it's
Thanks
great
for having
meeting you,
me.
Kwame.
Yes,
Hey,
it was a pleasure meeting you. We need to do more.
Yeah.
And all joking aside, Kwame, man, I had nothing but love and respect for your brother. Everything
I
you do
appreciate
is
that.
absolutely amazing. So keep it up, man. Just keep plugging away and keep it up, man.
Yeah.
Love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh. Funny guy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. You know, he's absolutely a fantastic guy. And you know, I've asked him questions offline a little bit on the side, and he's always been super cool about answering everything that I've ever asked him. You know, upfront, honest, and just genuine. So you can't ask for a better guy than that.
No.
Yeah, I'm glad that you had him come on, Drew, because I've never had a conversation. I'm not connected to. I mean, I follow his page and stuff, and I see his journeys and what he's up to, and I always find him really fascinating. And see him in the PDC and mixing it up with all the rest of you, or with all of us, and so that was great to make that connection. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and his show's quite fun to go on as well. I don't know how much I added to it, other than saying stuff that's probably not PC. I was on my best behaviour and probably still wasn't doing very well.
You know, I actually am looking forward to being on. I kind of played like I forgot all about it, but no, I do know that he asked me to come on the show. I just don't think we ever set a date or a time to do it. And you know, I am looking forward to it just because it follows along with everything that I've been talking about over the course of the last year on my show. Don't just show up on the shows that you think are your niche or think have your audience. Show up on any show. Just get out there, have fun, and be part of the podcast community.
Yeah. Go fuck shit up.
Yeah. Hey, come on, look what I did to you earlier. I mean, I totally freaking fucked you over. But no, you know, that's the thing, though. You can have so much fun in this industry. You can meet some of the most amazing people throughout podcasting. And not just, oh, I'm a business podcast, so I got to stay in business. No, get out there. Get into some comedy podcasts. Get into some basket weaving, whatever it is.
Basket weaving? I would love to see you on a basket weaving podcast. Yeah, but that's if they'll accept you. And I agree with you, CJ. But, you know, that's the thing with this is now you've got a gazillion people who are experts in this industry that are teaching you how to approach certain people and only go on these types of shows. And this is what you should do. And this should be your focus. And you're so busy trying to be focused on trying to get from being a guest on that show that I think you can't really giving her, and you're not giving the real you, because you're so focused on doing what this person said you should do while you're a guest on that show. And I totally agree. Have fun in this space. Entertain people. Spread the word about it. Tell people about new ones. Promote each other. I mean, it's a phenomenal medium that has been made to be, what's the word? God, I'm having freaking mouth problems today. Is intimidating to people.
Not mine.
It's intimidating to people, and it's causing people to spend way more money than they need to because they want to be a certain way. So if people will accept you because, they want to know your qualifications and can you talk about this and what do you have to add and what value do you bring with you and because experts have told them that.
Yeah, you might want to mute your speakers because I'm probably going to go off in a rant because I fucking can't stand podcast gurus when they come out with their bullshit about
favorite rank of the whole show.
Yeah, it's like when they come out, you got to say this, you got to have this type of fucking letter when you interact with people, and go fuck yourself because that's stupid. I've reached out to people on fucking Twitter, which they say never reach out on social media. If you can, why not? People do it to me. I go on their shows. It's like that's how people interact nowadays. They interact with social media. So if you aren't going to use it, then that's a crutch.
Social media.
Also, the way a lot of people talk about these podcast gurus when they talk about like how you should do your show, I think I do everything wrong by what they say. Like they say your intro shouldn't be longer than 20 seconds. My intro music is like 1:50.
Oh God,
I don't give a fuck.
But that's what makes your show unique, right?
Yeah.
Every one of these people that say I'm a podcast this or I'm a live stream that, the thing about it is, they come out there and they have this model and they say, I can give you this model and you'll be successful in doing this and blah, blah, blah. And I've been producing, radio, television, podcasts, live streams for a long damn time. I started doing this shit in 2003. And the one thing that I always known is it's not your vision, it's their vision, and that's the thing that all these coaches seem to forget. They come out, I'm a guru, I'm an expert, I'm a coach. They forget that the person that it's important to isn't you, it's important to the person that's actually going to be doing it. So to sit there and say, I've got this system and I've got this model and you're going to love it and it's going to make you a success. How many people out there do you know that has a podcast on fire right now?
Yeah.
The worst thing that happened to podcasting was Entrepreneur on Fire, and I love John Lee Dumas and what he does. I think it's amazing, but there's too damn many people out there that went through his free podcast course and they went through his what was that other thing called that he did?
Podcaster's Paradise.
Yeah, Podcaster's Paradise. And every single damn one of them sounds exactly the same. So getting back to what we were talking about when this whole rant thing and this whole thing started about favorite and least favorite podcasts, because I like to bring shit back around. My least favorite podcasts are all of the podcasts on fire except for Entrepreneur on Fire.
Mine is pretty much any podcast about podcasting.
Wait a minute.
Podcast is about podcasting.
Whoa. I've got a show that's a podcast about podcasters. Okay, wait a minute. Not about podcasters. So eat a dick, Drew.
It's just the way I am.
No, Podcasters Guild, though, just to kind of share this out because it's getting ready to launch season 2 in September. Podcasters Guild doesn't talk about podcasting. It talks about the people behind the podcast. It's celebrating their journey in podcasting. So it's really not a podcast about podcasting like all these other nitwits. It's really celebrating the people that really built this industry.
Yeah.
Most podcasts about podcasting and how you should be doing it don't actually get a lot of listeners. So I always find that hilarious. It's like, I'm going to show you how to have a successful show. Come listen to my podcast that has 20 people listening to it a month.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless your name is Cliff Ravenscraft, Dave Jackson, Ray Ortega, or Daniel J. Lewis, you're not getting a goddamn listener to come to your show, because those 4 guys have cornered that market.
Well, I'm throwing She Podcast in there because they are too, and I think it's maybe because it's 2 women, and they have a really big Facebook group too, and one of them works at Libsyn. So, yeah. But they are very much themselves too, like very much who they are. There's no airs, there's no, so I really appreciate that about him. But yeah, I mean, those formulas, they don't work for everybody. Now, I consult with podcasters and radio hosts, but it's geared towards them. It's not, it should just be 20 seconds your intro, and it should say this, and you should do that. It's totally dependent on that person. And people will ask me questions, and I'm like, but I don't know. I'd have to know, like, I'd have to talk to you and see what you're like, and maybe that doesn't suit you, and maybe it should be way off the rails, and maybe it, so yeah, I don't like that formulaic thing that's come about now, or 6 months, a year into podcasting, and they're suddenly experts and they've got courses, and it's like, please, like, and how about you stop talking and stop calling your podcast a radio show, because that really freaking grinds my gears.
Kind of like calling a live stream TV.
Yeah.
Totally on her own show.
But it is closer because you're watching something. A podcast it's not live as it's happening. That's all what radio is.
Yeah.
So we just turned this into a podcast about podcasting, and
we did.
The one last thing we're going to leave you is break the fucking rules, folks.
Yes.
Don't listen to all. Just go out and have fun.
Yeah, do
it's
what
like
you want.
they all say don't curse on your show, and the first thing on the start of all my episodes, it says you're listening to a Scottish horror podcast which contains a Scottish guy swearing. If that offends you, then you're a fucking racist. That's how I open every show.
I love that intro. I think that is freaking awesome.
Yeah. You're sweating again, eh, CJ?
Oh my
God.
God.
A towel like Kwame. Kwame has a towel.
Yeah, that's a black thing. They're smart like that. They're smart like that.
They're smart like that.
Yeah. I'm a straight white boy living in Trump's America. He's getting stabbed in the chest. I'm getting stabbed in the back.
Oh my God.
At least he can see it coming.
Jesus.
We have questions. Have you been watching the Facebook there, CJ?
Yeah, the last comment that was made was Dave saying walking away for 2 minutes, and now Ripka's on.
Oh.
And then I commented back. I said, "That's right, Dave. I told you that shit was about to go south."
So we have a regular who comments on the show often called Donkey Punch for Life. Wants to know,
Punch for Life. Dude, I will buy that name from you. And whoever has the name, I will shock you with the whole shocker symbol thing. I want that name also. Just say it.
He wants to know, Scientology, a cult or a religion? I think that just means the same thing. So that's my answer.
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Every week he tries to get me to say something controversial, I think, so he can share it out on Twitter.
Here's the most controversial thing you will ever hear about religion. Who fucking cares? There's your controversy.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Fuck religion. There we go. That'll get me all right on Twitter.
had to watch your show. I guess you can one up me all you want. But
does controversy increase your audience share or decrease your credibility?
It depends on your show. I think it depends on your show.
Say that one more time, because something didn't sound right with that.
DJ's confused.
Does controversy increase your audience share or decrease your credibility?
Well, that's kind of
wow.
It's not an or question. Yeah. It's trying to be confusing.
Yeah, because it's saying the exact same thing basically. Because if you're decreasing your audience share, it's chances are it's because you have no credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So Willie Gerton, go fuck yourself. That was a rubbish question. These people.
But we love you, buddy. We love you, buddy. It's okay. We love our keep watching this.
Oh my God, where's Kwame? I want Kwame back. I need to get off this ride.
What's the worst thing you ever said on your show?
Oh man,
there's too much to go into for me, so these guys are going to have to go for that one.
I don't think I ever said anything really bad on my show, but on Drew's show, I've said a lot of fucked up shit. So,
yes, you have.
And if you would have been paying attention to this show tonight, you would have heard all of it.
I don't think there's anything the worst thing that I've said. I can't think of anything that I would have gone, oh, one time I said this and I so wish I hadn't. I've never said anything that I wish I hadn't. So,
yeah, no, it's part of being yourself. It's part of being that how you show up.
Yeah.
You show up as yourself. You never have to say sorry for what you said. Now, you don't have to like what we say.
Yeah.
That's your fault. That's your problem, not our problem. You have to
your fault.
Yeah. They have to decide why that offends them. I love the Constitution of the United States because you have the freedom of speech, but you do not have the freedom to not be offended by what my speech is. So that is not written into the Constitution.
Oh my God. That is funny.
I've had guests on that were arseholes and I've taken the piss out of them till they've hung up the call, basically. So that's probably the worst I've done.
Oh.
Or when I've hung up on people and then badmouthed them after it on the show. Something like that, probably.
The only people that I've ever badmouthed on the show, seriously badmouthed on the show, I've actually did it in a way that it was more just in jest. More of, I've never actually badmouthed anybody on the show other than Facebook. I put out a rant about Facebook one time, and I'm not sorry about that, Facebook. I'm not. And I'm on YouTube, so right now I'm safe. But yeah, I went off on Facebook once, and it was, I think the episode was called Fuck Facebook. And I was pissed. They literally took my show down because they said I had copyrighted material in my show, which was all royalty-free music that I had actually bought and paid for because I paid for this bulk library of royalty-free music. So they came and said that, oh, there's royalty-free or there's copyrighted content in your show. We took it down. Oh, I was pissed.
Oh, yeah. I know somebody who keeps getting their stuff taken off all the time, their videos. And no reason given. It's
here's the secret to these things. Don't have anything playing in the background that may be music on the radio or anything like that. Don't ever have the radio playing when you're trying to do a live stream.
Yeah.
That will be taken off. Don't be wearing shirts that have significant brands that like to sue people, i.e. Nike. Don't wear a Nike shirt. Some of those other big companies like what was that one? Affliction. Affliction was suing people. Don't
really?
Yeah,
oh,
don't
crap.
clothing that's branded. that will get you taken off of Facebook because Facebook is trying to protect the live streamers from these companies that are so happy right now. Yeah, and the other thing,
Well, that's Yanks for you.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, isn't Affliction a Canadian company?
Fuck, we don't have any freaking Canadian companies anymore. You guys come in and just steamroll us.
Whoa. Whoa. Hey, I believe it goes the other way around. You guys kick them out because you think they're bad news for the country, so you kick them out. I mean, why? How else do you?
We don't kick them out. They're taking over.
How do you explain Seth Rogen?
He's fucking funny. That's how I explain him.
Marijuana.
Then why the hell did you all kick him out?
Marijuana.
I heard it's going to be legalized in Canada nationwide.
It is.
Yeah, I got a opportunity email. Have you ever got those emails, Drew? Where they'll send you an email and they'll say, "This is a great opportunity. You can invest in this," and it's all these Canadian marijuana farms.
Mm.
There's a lot of production places. There's a lot of production plants there's one here just outside of town that produces like different hemp products.
Hell,
It's a huge mill.
I got a production plant underneath my desk, but I'm not having anybody else invest in it.
You ain't making rope and shit.
The investment opportunity ones I get are like ones from places with names like Podcast Bay. I don't want the newsletter. You're all right.
Uh-oh.
I'm not your audience, brother. I'm not your target market. Stop sending me that shit. I love you, though. I do. In a not homophobic kind of way, I would hug you. I would embrace you. Nuzzle you maybe even a little bit. But don't send me your podcast-based shit no more.
Oh, Lordy. Went right up to that line.
Oh, yeah. I forgot where the fucking line is at half the time. If I actually go up to a line, it's not because I know it's the line. It's because I just figured, what the hell, I'll just back off.
Got to know that edge.
Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself from podcasting? I can't pronounce that person's name to give them credit for that question. So, yay, good question.
Well, I learned an asshole from Kwame Corbett.
What? Say that again?
I learned I was an asshole from Kwame Corbett.
Oh, well, there you go. It's always good to learn something every day.
Yes. If you're not learning every day, then you're wasting your life.
That's right. What have I learned about myself? That's the question? Oh, okay. Huh. I've learned, I don't know. I've learned that I do have valuable things to say. I've definitely learned that because we get caught up in that mind muck, and some of us are better than others at just saying what the hell and not being too concerned, or not saying anything and still being concerned. So I learned that I do have something to say, that I do have things to share, and that there are people that like my voice.
That's a good thing to have
I'm
learned.
not getting deep on that.
What?
But as deep as I'm going.
It's a bit of a airy-fairy question for me, so I'll just say
Yeah.
what I've learned is I shouldn't be podcasting because I tend to say stuff that shouldn't ever be said. So that's what I've learned. I still
I'm going to
pronounce that name.
I'm going to take this a little bit deep too, because that's why me and Lynn, we connected, is because we can take it to those levels. We can be fun, funny, and fruitful, and then at the same time, we can back it off and be deep and thoughtful. So when I first started my podcast, it was to help me with my PTSD. I was sharing my message, my story out to people, and they would support me and they would help me find some of the triggers that maybe I was missing. And it was kind of a therapy for me. And then as I kind of got going and people started saying, hey, you're kind of good at this. I'm always learning how to be better, but they'd say, hey, you're kind of good at this. You should do it more often. And then I created another show and another show. Then I decided, well, I really like creating shows. I mean, hell, I think I've had like 7 or 8 different shows.
Yeah, me too.
But each time I created a show, I learned something new about where I could take myself. Because not every show you show up. I mean, you don't have to be a barking chihuahua and have high energy all the time. And you don't have to sound like that guy that is delivering that message that the world's biggest disaster just happened. So by doing all these different shows, I've really learned how to kind of craft my story and how to, pace my show out and how to kind of create a cadence that people will kind of come to and listen to. So that's really what I learned from doing my shows.
Very good.
Told you I was going to go deep. Really? So deep. To the bottom of the tuna can. Yeah, we brought it back there again. Hey, there's no depth to how shallow I can be.
If a movie was made based on your lives, oh, for fuck's sake, who would direct it, star in it, and write the goddamn thing?
Well, for me, Drew Carson would write it. And, because he's the only one that could probably write for this twisted, fucked up shit that's in this head. And it would probably be Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen could probably more accurately play my life out. So, yeah. Mostly because his life kind of paralleled mine for quite a few years. So, the drugs, the alcohol.
Have you got tiger blood as well?
But, I never used a belt around the neck. Thought about it. Pills seemed like a better option for me at that time. My wife took away my belt and my shoelaces, so I went with pills. No, but for real though, I lived a pretty fucked up, crazy life for a long time. This is actually me being normal. Sorry, guys. Sorry to disappoint you.
Oh, Lord. Wow. Well, we'll take you normal. You're good normal.
Hey, did you guys see on Facebook, I discovered the secret of life?
Nope.
Have fun?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Don't take yourself so freaking serious.
That's it. Yes, I did see that.
Yeah.
Yes, don't take yourself so seriously. Have fun. Laugh.
Oh my God. I cannot.
Let go of the petty shit.
I cannot stand seeing all these freaking pity me posts on freaking Facebook these days. They're so vague. They leave all the important information out, like what the fuck is wrong with you. So they just leave something there to get you wondering what the fuck is wrong with you. And now you got like 100 damn posts on your freaking little poor me thing. Why? And then you still don't tell us what the fuck's wrong with you. Stop doing that shit.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating for the people seeing it that comment, but I think that's the people that are posting it are like, they're needing that bit of connection, that little bit of, I don't know, affirmation that they matter. I think that's what it is. I know it's frustrating for the rest of them.
Or they're just being attention-seeking whores.
And some of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how to be an attention-seeking whore and not sound like a bitch? Start a fucking podcast.
Perfect answer. Yes.
Or a podcast group.
Or a podcast group.
Oh, fuck.
Too funny.
Yeah, let's just avoid that large amount of questions. What I've noticed is when you do live stream things like this, you attract a lot of seriously hate-filled questions.
Oh God,
Like,
Yeah,
I had when we had Kwame on earlier, there was a lot of racist and homophobic shit questions coming through.
oh no
really?
shit.
Really, you know, it just I don't know what the fuck.
Why
do
are people
come
so?
from? Yeah, it's the same. Like, I got to it when I don't know if you know him from the PDC, Zavi. He was on, and I was getting racist shit through with that, which I ended up having to do, like, just say stop posting the racist shit in the messenger because it was just so much of it, and it was by 3 different people. So it was one of those, how do you block these fuckers from going on your live streams? That's a question I have.
I think there's a lot of that on YouTube. I think YouTube's one of those places where haters definitely like to go and make comments for sure. Because I don't see that kind of stuff on Facebook. If you see Facebook Lives, but YouTube, yeah, it's rampant. Like, that's where the people who don't have a life go.
Periscope and Blab, those 2 platforms, and people have literally come out and said, I'm a professional troll. I will go out and troll people just to get a reaction. You know, and on Blab, I never really experienced it so much on Periscope because I really didn't grow that following all that well. But on Blab, I had a pretty decent following, and I would get some of these people to come on. So what I would do is I would invite them to come sit down in the seat. If they had the balls to come and sit down in the seat, I would go one-on-one with them, and we would just basically verbally beat the shit out of each other.
A verbal UFC.
Yeah, but you know, here's the thing that was so funny about that. It created a show. So that was one of my shows, is Come Troll Me. And that was one of my biggest shows on Blab. I would get anywhere from, 80 to 200 people watching that show at that time it was live.
Holy shit. Well, I didn't know you then.
And to be honest with you, that show was so much fun. That's how I met people like Ricky Prime. Ricky Prime had a fantastic show. But when he wasn't doing his own show, he would go out and shut the lights off and cover, blur out his face, and he would go and troll people. Problem is the guy's from New Zealand, so you can tell who he is just by the accent. He's the only one that was from New Zealand that kind of had a good following. So, and you knew when he came in a room because like 400 other people would come in the room with him. So, like, oh yeah, Ricky's here. All right, what's up, prime time? Come on, let's do this. Get in the seat.
I don't mind that if you're going to be funny and creative with it. It's those that are just so hate-filled and say things that are just so nasty and brutal, just meant to kick them in the nards. Like, that kind of stuff is totally uncalled for. But if you're going to be funny, creative, and poke a little bit of fun, I'm all for that. But some of the shit I read, it's like, oh my God, what kind of pain are you living in that you can just spew that kind of stuff? That's crazy.
I can honestly say I've never experienced that on any show I've ever been on or done.
I haven't either. One time when I first started 8 years ago, when I started doing this, I started on Blog Talk Radio. Because I didn't know anything. I didn't even know about podcasting. And I was introduced to Blog Talk Radio. So that's where I started. And I got like a troller one time that called into the show. Oh my God, I never hung up so fast, but he had just enough time to say the most crudest sexual comment. And I think I had quite a proper person on my show at that time. Oh my God, that was brutal. But it was people will do that. They'll go around and they'll call into all those shows, and there you have it on your show because they're all recorded. I just don't get.
Yeah, there's a friend of mine who had started to do live streams. She was getting about 200 people watching them live, but she would get about over 100 comments probably by the same 5 people typing it in repeatedly, but it was just constantly shows your tits, shows your tits. So she just stopped because she couldn't hack it.
Yeah.
All this crap coming up in the messages.
Yeah. And that's just someone then stopping something that they enjoy, and that, yeah, I hate that shit. God.
So, word to all the racist fuckwits out there: stop watching my shows and fucking do something that actually excites you in life, so you're not just an arsehole. Because there's a difference between an arsehole like me and Chris. We're arseholes, but we're friendly arseholes.
What the hell is that?
I thought he was that. I thought it was his butt plug though.
This is my poop emoji. Everybody should have a poop emoji. And best yet, it even farts. So,
oh my God. See, that's harmless shit.
Yeah.
I'm a child. I'll admit it. I'll admit to being a child. But, it's everybody has to have something to hold on to, and poop emoji.
So let's go out on a happy note. Where can people find you online, and what have you got coming up?
We're going out on a poop emoji.
Yeah. It sums up the show.
Gee, thanks.
To be honest with you, I think this is probably one of the best shows that you guys have done.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Before I came on, it was the best show that you had done up to this point, I think.
Go, CJ.
So you want me to tell them where they can find us?
Sure.
All right. Well, you can find us at facebook.com/Grit and Grace TV. You can also go to our website, gritandgracetv.com, and you can find everything, Grit and Grace TV, everything that's going on with Ripka Media over at ripkamedia.com. And I tell you what, there's a lot of big things coming out of Ripka Media, and it's only going to get better. And I want to be able to shout this out also. If you like online radio, if you want to just check it out, sit back, relax, maybe you're out barbecuing or something, turn on Mile High Radio. They have so many amazing programs on that station. And I tell you what, their app is so easy to use. I went and downloaded that app because, to be honest with you, it was easier to navigate than their website. So go on over to that Play Store or Apple, whatever you guys call it, you Apple people, and download the Mile High Radio app and listen to all their programs. And you will even be able to listen to Grit and Grace.
Yeah, in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you'll be catching our show.
Yeah, because that comes out in 7 minutes. So get on over to Mile High Radio. Get that app. Get it right now so you can catch Grit and Grace.
You can, as always, you can find me on Twitter and Facebook and all the usual fucking places.
That's all the usual fucking places.
All the usual fucking places.
And you can also find him, because I'm going to talk him into doing this. You can also go to ripkamedia.com because I am going to twist his arm enough to get him over there. So
nice.
You can find Drew everywhere.
Yep.
I had to put you on the spot, man. I figured that was the only way that I could really. Yeah, I was going to put you on the spot. That was my night.
Well, it's been great having you on the show.
Thank you. This was great.
Wasn't as painful as you thought it was going to be.
No, because I didn't know what to expect. Not after I watched the other episodes, which I loved. It was so entertaining. Sometimes, I was like, I don't think I can keep up to that. But no, it wasn't. You're an awesome host, Drew. Thank you.
I have to spam the show one more time. You can also find Drew next Saturday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on This Ain't My Show. It's going to be a great show. I've got such a great lineup. I've got Drew Carson coming on. I've got Dave Mariska coming on. I got, Ashley Sanders coming on. I've got, there's like 5 or 6 people that are going to be on the show now. And it's really going to be a round table of people just ranting about great topics.
Oh, I'm going to have to catch the replay on that.
Oh, yeah, you will.
Excellent. Excellent.
Next Saturday.
Thank you again, Drew. This was great.
Yep. Thank you for coming on the show. We'll